For most of us, walking a mile might not be that much of a challenge. But what if you were born with cerebral palsy and you were told you would never walk at all? Then walking a mile could make you this week's Huck's hero. Please welcome tonight's Huck's hero, Johnny Agar, with his parents, Becky and Jeff. We're so glad to have you guys here.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Johnny. I am kind of amazed at what you accomplished because people didn't think you'd ever walk, and you did a mile, which is a big deal. A big deal.
I was very blessed that my parents never took it easy on me, and as I got older, I wanted to be an athlete like my dad did, and so Dad started doing races with me. And
I think you have succeeded. You are an athlete, Johnny, and it's pretty cool that you've accomplished. You know, what blows me away is the people who have celebrated you. You got a phone call from no less than like one of the greatest Olympic champions of all time. Michael Phelps called you to congratulate you and inspire you. In fact, he wrote a little thing in your book called The Impossible Mile. Was that pretty cool, getting a call from Michael Phelps?
It really was, because, I really look up to him because not because of all the gold medals, but because of all the effort that he puts into things.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to take the opportunity to tell him how much he influenced me in my life. And so, that was a tremendous thing to have that encouragement from him. We actually finished the race right after that. And it was, we finished it with 5 minutes to spare. But I think it was his phone call that gave us the encouragement that we needed. And so it's wonderful to have him be a part of the book, too.
I might have even been able to finish the race, too, if Michael Phelps had called me. Becky, you and Jeff are obviously a big part of encouraging Johnny and telling him not just to give up. And that's what the book is about, Becky, that you wrote with Johnny, called The Impossible Mile. Talk to us about what you wish other people knew about cerebral palsy.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when people see somebody in a wheelchair, they get kind of nervous and they don't know if mentally that they're all there.
Yeah.
And so it's really important for us to let people know that, when you see somebody in a wheelchair, you just need to say hi and start a conversation with them. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to have Johnny, have this book out there to help encourage others and to help people with not only, when Johnny walked the first time, his first mile, Johnny said to me after the race, he said, Mom, wouldn't it be really cool if we were able to encourage one person in a wheelchair with a disability? And it ended up, we did, but we were able to touch so many other people with other challenges that didn't have anything to do with disabilities necessarily, but it was a beautiful thing for us as parents to be able to see our son encourage people like that. It was
and Jeff, you're athletic, and you participated and trained with him and helped him through an IRONMAN, for heaven's sakes. That had to have been a challenge for both of you.
Well, it was. I was never an endurance athlete. I noticed you've done a few marathons in your life, and it's a lot of work to do. But 12 years ago, I didn't even know how many miles were in a 5K. I had to look it up, but Johnny wanted to do some of these races.
Yeah.
We started doing them, and you just get more and more. And I mean, you see that I'm a prime example of the motivation that Johnny's provided somebody who was not an endurance athlete or wasn't interested at all in doing it. And I was able to overcome challenges to get there. So he's really very motivational, as you can tell.
Well, what you have done for all of us is give us an example of a typical family that just takes whatever life has given you and make the most of it. That's really what all of us ought to do, whether or not we have a family member in a wheelchair or not. Johnny, you have inspired us. And you know what? We decided that in addition to naming you our Huck's hero, I think we ought to also name your parents, Jeff and Becky, as Huck's hero, because it's all three of you that make this work.
What an honor, what an honor.
Well, we love you guys. I hope if you want to be encouraged and if you want to just be reminded that life is not always fun, but there's many ways to approach it, read Johnny Agar's story in this inspiring book. I think it will bless you. It's called The Impossible Mile, but he proved it was possible. Now, if you want more information on Johnny and the book, just go to our website, Huckabee.tv. All of the details will be right there.